At the beginning of the movie, an astronaut wanders through strange swamps. A man tries to radio that he has landed in a very strange place instead of New Mexico. The astronaut tries to escape from a pursuer but stumbles over a tree root and falls into the clutches of a huge monster. The action shifts to the real world. On the program today is Rick Marshall, a paleontologist presenting a new book. Rick says he spent $50 million to develop his theory. He is busy studying time sinkholes that would help give people more fuel and prevent an economic crisis. The host reacts with great skepticism and tells him that Stephen Hawking called it nonsense. Offended, Rick leaves the studio after the interview but soon returns and attacks the man. To disarm him, the presenter uses a fire extinguisher. 3 years pass. Rick gives a presentation on the tachyon amplifier he created, which allows not only time travel but also access to alternative realities where the present is mixed with the past and future. However, Rick tells this at an ordinary lesson where children are more concerned about whether dinosaurs had mammary glands. Rick is approached by Holly Cantrell, who has studied his writings and is interested in the tachyon amplifier. Rick tells her he didn't finish the device and became a laughingstock in the scientific world. Holly pulls out a 260-million-year-old rock with an imprint of a lighter. She also discovered crystals in the desert that emit tachyon energy. Rick is surprised to realize his own lighter is imprinted in the rock. Holly visits Rick's lab and finds him lying on the floor, having not eaten for a long time due to work. Holly notices a device on the table and realizes Rick has finished the tachyon amplifier. She is sure they are on the verge of a great discovery and asks Rick to get up and follow her. Holly offers to go to the desert where she found the fossil. They locate the strongest tachyon field in a cave within a half-abandoned amusement park. Its owner, Will Stanton, agrees to take them on a boat ride into the heart of the cavern. Rick ignores the excursion and cranks up the amplifier, causing an earthquake. The amplifier falls overboard, and the boat, along with the passengers, falls from a newly appeared waterfall. Upon waking, Rick realizes they are in a world with 3 moons. He asks his assistant to videotape to prove the tachyon amplifier transported them to a world where the past, present, and future are intertwined. Hearing a strange noise, Rick decides to investigate and sees 3 higher primates fighting. Holly distracts them by screaming, and Will tries to scare the enemies with a lighter, but drops it. 2 primates escape with their prey. Holly manages to make contact with the remaining primate, Chocker, though he clearly dislikes Rick. Rick and his companions get trapped in a strange underground cave. Holly explains to Chocker that Rick is their chief. Suddenly, strange vines wrap around the travelers and suspend them. Below, Rick notices bones and an astronaut suit. During their escape, they encounter a Tyrannosaurus. Will stops briefly so Holly can take a photo of the dinosaur. They manage to run across a bridge, but the dinosaur follows. Rick hides in a cave, and Holly names the dinosaur Grumpy due to its bad temper. The teen decides to spend the night in the cave, which contains human remains from World War II. Holly learns Chocker was banished from his tribe for a small transgression. Rick hears a noise and goes outside, noticing a giant walnut near the cave entrance. Holly sees Grumpy watching Rick from another cave. In the morning, Rick records a video diary, speculating about having to roast Chocker when supplies run out. Holly and Chocker return with large nuts. Chocker gives Rick an open fruit, which releases many insects. Rick is freed from them when he hears a strange noise outside and notices a strange glow in the woods. Rick experiences telepathic contact with an alien, asking to find him. Rick tells Holly about the contact and moves out. Will thinks Rick has a tropical fever. Rick finds a place with tachyon radiation. Chocker tries to warn his friends about the slee stacks, but it's too late. Using Holly's belt, Rick directs sunlight at statues, opening a portal to a strange dimension. Soon, Rick meets an alien who says Zahn wants to take over the human world. The alien asks Rick to find the tachyon amplifier to keep it from the enemy. Rick constructs a rough layout and plans to fly a balloon with a reflector to locate the amplifier. Rick, Holly, and Will follow on the ground. Rick collects samples of dinosaur secretions to blend in with the dinosaur's habitat. Will and Holly are reluctant and follow Chocker instead. They encounter strange sights in the desert, including an ice cream cart falling from the sky. Dinosaurs approach, and Grumpy, along with another dinosaur, attacks Rick. He defeats one with a catapult and liquid nitrogen. Rick finds the amplifier, but it is carried away by a pterodactyl. Rick decides to give up, disappointing Holly. Will learns from Chocker that their tribe lives where food is plentiful. They hear music and see Rick playing a banjo and apologizing. In the morning, Rick suggests they retrieve the amplifier. He calms a baby pterodactyl by singing and retrieves the device. Holly inspects and cleans it while Chocker treats Rick and Will to a special plant. Holly finds a portal to a cave with crystals. They are attacked by a giant crab, which falls into a spring and becomes dinner. Rick grows attached to Chocker and Will speculates he might want to stay in this world. Holly discovers Zahn is a hologram and the real villain is Enic. She is captured trying to warn her friends. The next morning, Rick and his friends realize Holly has been kidnapped. Rick rescues her, and Holly kisses him. Chocker brings Enic, who confesses his plan to enslave the universe. Rick is attacked by Grumpy but manages to escape. Holly realizes they must defeat Enic to spread the word about Rick's exploits. Rick appears riding Grumpy and saves the day. He reveals he helped Grumpy with his intestinal pain. They run into a portal to Enic. Rick confronts the alien and Will helps by shattering a crystal. Enic panics as the passage to the human world may close forever. Rick uses a crystal to temporarily restore the portal. Enic grabs Will, and Rick asks them to leave without him. Rick returns to the cave and kisses Holly. Will defeats Enic with Chocker's help. They decide to go to Chocker's tribe to enjoy life. On the Today program, Rick promotes his new book, which offensively targets the host. The host attacks Rick on air. After filming, Rick forgets an egg Holly found, which hatches into a real Sleestack. This is the end of the movie. Thank you for watching.